Gordon was instrumental in having the local war memorial repaired and adding the names of those who fell in the 1939-45 conflict added to the memorial. In 1995, in collaboration with Desmond Hardcastle, head of Starbeck Primary School, Gordon developed a museum for Starbeck in the old headmaster's house. The museum continues to flourish under the trusteeship of Nigel Parry and Martin Grassington, amply assisted by a team of stewards under the leadership of Stephen Abbott.
This room we still share with the school, and we don't keep a right lot of things in it because of the school. It's just general pictures and things we've had donated. And here we have an interesting railway artefact, one of the original Starbeck railway station signs. This is the railway room. We have lots of railway artefacts in here, but we also have other things for the other Starbeck industries. There's bricks from all three of the local brickworks. We have a display here from the workhouse, and also Starbeck's very own spar industry, something that got overshadowed a little bit by the more glamorous image of the Harrogate spars, but nonetheless it has a history of its own. This is what we call the community room. It's basically based on the churches of Starbeck. Starbeck's represented by all the denominations. There's also photos of various church football teams. This is the schoolroom, done out, as you can see, as a small classroom. Photographs of school photographs all around. And here's an interesting little hole here with the original Samson Fox ox from the ox roasting of 1887.
The museum is used by the school as a teaching aid during the day. On summer evenings, or by appointment, the museum is open to the general public. Gordon was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 1998. Sadly, Gordon passed away in 1999. So it was that on the 11th of May 2003, on a warm, sunny Saturday afternoon, many residents of not only Starbeck but the wider local community gathered to dedicate a sculpture to Starbeck's favourite benefactor.
Gentlemen, on behalf of the Committee of Starbeck in Bloom, may I welcome you all this afternoon. This is your day. Without your support, we wouldn't be here celebrating what is going to be a wonderful occasion. It was a year last February that we announced appeal for the Gordon Peer Memorial Fund. £5,000. It doesn't sound much, I know, but at times we thought, can we raise it? We knew with your support that we could. And in 1 year's time, we've raised the complete amount. What have we done? We've had your donations, which account for nearly half the support. We've had the Gordon Beer first book reprinted, and that's done very well indeed. We had raffles, a balloon race, talks by the mayor. Anybody who missed that missed a real treat. And then we've had a games night. Who can forget the tea and trumpets? That was a marvellous occasion. And the Girls' Brigade, with their coffee mornings, have raised over £200. Thank you all so much. It's been a wonderful achievement and it's very much appreciated. Besides the fundraising for the Gordon Beer Memorial, we've had other functions to improve the park for your enjoyment. Thanks to funding by the Community Fund and the Harrogate Borough Council and the North Riding County Council, we've got a new paved area which is just on the entrance. I approached the school at Starbeck for the children to produce a drawing for what the pavement should look like. And that is a result. It's wonderful. We have the star in the middle, the wavy lines representing the beck, and as well as that, we've now plenty of seats for you to sit on. 3 seats, 2 over there and 1 at the back here. Not only that, we have a litter bin, and I hope it's going to be well used. We've had help all the way along, even at late stages, and I hope you'll take the time to look at the wonderful collage that the Brownies have done for us at the entrance there, and the banner produced by the Girls' Brigade. Wherever we go, we get the full support of everyone in Starbeck, and it is very much appreciated. Pleased to welcome our MP, Phil Willis, and it's my pleasure to introduce him now.
Thank you very much indeed, Elliot. It's very nice of you all to turn out to see me this afternoon. I'm very grateful. On this, apart from the hecklers, can I say, I really want to say 3 things, because this is really a very the culmination of not only work towards raising the money for this particular memorial, but it's also what I would call an actual living example of what happens here in Starbeck. When this target was set, the whole community actually got together, and you see on my right here these little creatures, the Brownies, who had a remarkable tea party for everybody in Starbeck and raised lots of money, and who've in fact done the lovely mural on the back of the notice board. So thank you very much indeed, Brownies. Very much indeed. And you might see 1 or 2 middle-aged ladies sat on seats. The middle-aged ladies, in fact, are very, very important, because they took away with them pigs. Sorry, these were pot pigs, not real pigs. And of course, they've spent a lot of time actually filling these little pigs and making sure that they made a really remarkable contribution. They've sewed, they've knitted, they've attended everything, they've supported everything. So if I might say to the middle to older generation in Starbeck, can you give yourselves a round of applause, and thank you very much indeed. But this event today would not have been possible without, in fact, Starbeck in Bloom. And I think there are organisations and indeed individuals who seem to spend a lot of time telling people what can't be done. Starbeck in Bloom are a group of people who make things happen. And not only Elliot here, and he'll step forward a second, but if I could just bring Christine. No. Because this is the most... These are 2 remarkable, these are 2 remarkable people who represent Starbeck in Blue, because it's a much larger organisation. Come on, those with the badges, let's see you. Come forward. But the shy and retiring people who never get to make speeches, but in fact do all the work to make Starbeck the remarkably attractive community it is. So for Starbeck in Blue, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. And finally, if I could say, I didn't know Gordon Beer well. I knew that he was, I met him towards the end of his life. He was somebody who helped me a great deal when I first became a Member of Parliament, and indeed when I was leader of the council. But he was somebody who always thought of Starbeck as a living community, as a community which, together with, probably Bilton, are the two last remaining identifiable communities in Harrogate that have got part of their very old traditions which are alive and kicking today. And Gordon represented all that was good about Starbeck. He talked about its history with great enthusiasm and pleasure. He talked about its people with great love and with great care. And of course his family who are here today are a living testimony to that which continues. And of course Mrs. Beer was too shy to say anything today, but I'm sure is absolutely delighted that the whole of Starbeck remembers a man who gave a great deal and who will be remembered with this marvellous memorial for many years to come. So thank you, Mrs. Beer, and thank you to the people of Starbeck. Your appreciation is very much, and all your efforts are very much appreciated. Thank you very much indeed.
There's another gentleman who's looked after us very well whenever he's had the time and the occasion is visited us. I'm sure he'd like to say a few words. Our Mayor, Councillor Bob Nash.
Well, the MP's taken away most of the words, so I'm now thinking on my feet. Don't often do that very well, but when Pat and I first got married, we, as you might know, lived in Starbeck for 6 years, but then we went to other areas of Harrogate for the next 30 or so until I became mayor. And when I was asked to come down to Starbeck for my first official function, I felt like an asylum seeker, and I checked my passport, because it was such an enclosed community that I couldn't believe. But the welcome was absolutely incredible. And I know Phil Willis here has referred to yourselves and Bilton, but this is a community second to none. And the Yorkshire in Bloom, my first experience of it, was after I finished dining over in Hull, when the announcements were being made about the winners. There was a lady on the table, in fact sat next door to me, who we just casually spoken, when it was suddenly announced that Starbeck in Bloom had got this very, very prestigious award. Felt as though it was a piece of holly under her bottom, because she jumped up and down, the mobile phone rang. It was quite incredible the amount of money she spent that afternoon calling the people in Starbeck. And then I suddenly picked up there was something very, very special about Starbeck. And it really is everything that Phil has said. Every time I've come down here, the name of Gordon Beer has been mentioned. He's obviously played a very, very significant part in Starbeck. And it's wonderful to see all the beers here. And I mean that quite sincerely. I know I like it, but you've done a good job for Starbeck as well. Thank you very much for inviting me to come down with the Mayoress. And I'd like to ask Mrs. Beer, Mrs. Daphne Beer, would you go forward please and unveil the memorial?
I'm sure there's one gentleman you'd all like to meet who is responsible for the sculpture. May I present to you all the way from Flamborough, Mr. John Hill.
I'd just like to say I've enjoyed making this piece of sculpture, and it's nice to see all the people here today to see it. Thank you very much.
A few words now from Minister Alan Bolton.
Let's just be thankful for a few moments. First of all, give thanks for Gordon and for all that he did for this community. And let us give thanks as well for so many others, some whom we know well and many who remain nameless, but who have over the years held this community together and built it up and brought us to this day. Let us pray. We give thanks, loving God, for Gordon and for so many others who have provided the glue which holds this society, this community together here. And we pray that all of us, each and every one here, will sense our responsibility to continue that work. So we ask your blessing on the community of Starbeck. We confess that, yes, there are divisions here sometimes. There are resentments, there is apathy. We are not perfect. But we thank you for all the good things that we find amongst us. We ask you that you will cast out fear and all that fractures community, so that we may all be one, as is your will for this place. Pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Well, the entertainment isn't ended yet, ladies and gentlemen. We have some wonderful refreshments. Anybody who would like to partake of a Bucks Fizz or even Starbeck's beer, we've had a wonderful cake baked for us by the CJ Hair Design. So I hope you'll all join us and celebrate further.
That's it, nice and cheery, straight towards camera, and straight.
Gordon has left a permanent mark on the village of Starbeck. In years to come, people will no doubt ask about the sculpture in Prospect Park. The response will surely be, it's called A Man on a Bicycle. It is a memorial to a man who lived for 45 years in Starbeck and rode a bicycle wherever he went. A good man that gave freely of his time to encourage and help both young and old. A man people called Mr. Starbeck, but whose real name was Gordon Beer. A man much loved and respected by all that knew him. A man for our time.